Let's see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and get over here. Fuckers. Shout out to the considerate ass people who let people get over and shit when they're trying to, so they don't get killed by oncoming traffic or cars. What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and I want to talk about transparency real quick. This is the reason why I just want to talk about transparency real quick. I had a quick conversation with a friend this morning, and I asked him, is he ever around a group of people, or in a group of people where you feel like something is not being said, like it's some fake shit, but everybody's acting normal, like you feel like something is wrong, like the energy is like fucked up, like the vibe is fucked up, but everybody is acting normal. Have you guys had, any of you ever had that experience where you're like, something's not right in here, and since everybody's acting normal, could it possibly be that it's me? Like, is it me that is throwing the energy off or the vibe off? Or and then you start getting kind of like paranoid, like, okay, is it? Am I tripping, or something is wrong in this room and everybody's acting like it's not? And then, I'm the type of person, and I've always been like this, and as an adult, it's so funny when you look back on how people have said things to you about your personality and about your behavior in different moments, and they say things to you like, I used to get, you're stuck up. I used to get that a lot. I used to get, you don't share yourself. I get that now as an adult. You don't share yourself a lot with people. You're not transparent. And I was telling my friend, I really want to say to people who tell me that I'm not transparent, you're not transparent. You're not being transparent, because I can tell there's a problem. I'm sitting here and I can tell there's a problem, and I am very sensitive to energy, right? So I could feel when something is wrong, and you could tell me nothing is wrong, and then come back a few days and be like, you know what, Erica, something was wrong. Okay, well then why the fuck was you sitting there lying and trying to get me to be transparent, and you wasn't being transparent either? This is why I didn't. And the reason why I'm talking, I've had a couple of experiences, but people used to always tell me that I was stuck up, right? You seem like you come off stuck up. Well, really what I am doing is sitting back and I'm observing, right? And I'm assessing the situation, and it helps me determine how open I can be with whoever is around. So if I get a sense of phoniness or inauthenticity, I retreat, because I'm just sensitive like that, and I don't want to, and I'm the kind of person that I don't want to be around inauthentic people, or people who have that are mean or not compassionate or intolerant. Whenever I feel like that, I retreat. So I get, you're stuck up. If I'm new in a group, sorry for all the shaking, I'm on this little side road trying to avoid the traffic on the freeway. I apologize. Y'all call it a freeway or y'all call it a highway? I think it depends on where you're from. We call it freeways out here on the west coast, the best coast, the left coast. Now I gotta wait for all this motherfucking traffic coming off the freeway. I just don't want to deal with it on the freeway. Anyways, so you get this feeling. So I, like all my life, on different occasions, I have been told, I didn't like you at first. I thought you was stuck up. Or, you just come off as though, you ask all the questions and you really don't talk about yourself a lot. And it's true, because I have grown and to understand that people love to talk about themselves. So as a person who's very private, that's a plus for me, because I know how to talk to you. And so I'm a very good conversationalist. I can talk to anybody about anything, a stranger in line, anything. I could talk to you about anything because of your energy, right? I could tell. I could talk to anybody. Do you hear me? And come on. I'm about to get me something to eat this morning. Okay. Y'all driving super duper fast out here. So I am the type of person like, okay, yeah, I've grown to learn that people would rather talk about themselves. And then I think that's why I don't have too many friends, because people don't ask me about myself. People don't ask me about me. Anyways, this is what I wanted to talk about in terms of being transparent, is that I noticed I'm watching different videos and things like that, and I'm watching people in so much pain and so much hurt behind sharing things with people that they just met, and going to bat for people that they don't know, and then those people end up falling out because you don't really know that person, but yet and still you opened yourself up and became vulnerable to these people, and they are not your friends. I'm just I was on a live the other night, and I'm just listening to everybody arguing and just all of this pain. And it was just like, I had to get off of it, because it was like everybody was screaming, everybody was angry, everybody was mad, and it was just a lot of pain that I heard. And then I thought to myself, how are you in so much pain and anger and strife behind a person you don't know? And then it clicked. Oh, you shared your story with a stranger. You shared your story with someone who didn't deserve it. You shared your shame story with someone who did not deserve it. And you thought you were being transparent. I don't know why people do that. Stop sharing your story, especially your shame story, because I don't care who you are. If you are over the age of 25, you have a shame story. You done something in your life that you're not particularly proud of. But guess what? You don't have to share that with everybody, because not everybody deserves your shame story. They do not deserve your shame story. Do you understand me? I'm going to say it for the third time. Third time's a charm. The power of 3. Do not share your shame story. And do not share people just because they sending you gifts in the mail, just because they sending you gift cards and things of that nature. Do not share your story with them just because somebody is giving you something, because people are manipulative. Do you understand me? And so many people are in personal pain that they use other people's pain and other people's shame story to make themselves feel powerful in whatever moment they needed to feel powerful. You have to stop doing that. And I promise you, you will feel much better. I just heard so much anger and so much pain. And because I'm very sensitive, I had to log off, because I was just like, this is not right. And I think so many people have a desire to connect with people because of the social media. As connected as you are very disconnected from people, and you don't know people. The people we giving you is a part of us, and it's not all of us. I did share a shame story a few weeks back in regards to my children's father, and it was talking about child support and how, and then I have shame stories. I have things and decisions that I made in my life that I'm not proud of, and I don't share that with everybody. I share it with people who deserve it. And then if you want to share it on a larger platform, that means that you're probably not ashamed of it anymore and you feel okay with telling it. But if it's something personal about decisions you made that are not collectively morally right to the collective, don't share the stories with people just because they sending you shit in the mail. Stop sharing your shit with everybody, because people, again, you have things that you've done and you share them with people, and like I said, people are evil and people are manipulative, and those people are hurting as well. And what they will do is take your story and they will retell it, and in that moment of retelling your shame story, they feel powerful. They get their power from your pain. Stop giving that to people. It's okay to be transparent, but not everybody deserves that. And I have grown to say, I like to be more transparent with people. And that means being honest and being truthful. It does not mean opening your book and telling everybody your story. It does not mean that. It does not mean that you have to share your story. It means that you can tell the truth about yourself. But you don't have to go through all the characters and all of the scenes in your story with everybody that you meet. There's a lot of people that we meet on YouTube and a lot of people you meet on social media. And because you are usually drawn to people, and once you start talking to them, you see that different aspects of your lives parallel. That does not mean y'all have the same story. You can have the same experience, but it does not mean how you got to have that experience, how you got there, the journey. You don't have to share that with everybody. Y'all have to stop doing that. And I'm not telling you to be dishonest with people. I'm telling you to be mindful. Just be mindful in who you share and be more aware, because again, I think so many people are hurt that they want somebody to connect to. And what better way to connect it's not a better way. Let me rephrase that. What people usually do is connect over pain, connect over misery. You have to find a way to connect to people about good things, right? All the bad things that have happened in my life and the choices that I make, and I share it. Some people come, I've had that same experience. Okay, you've had that same experience, but that don't mean that you and I are best friends now. That don't mean that I'm gonna tell you every other thing that's happened to me in my life. That don't mean because I sent you a t-shirt in the mail now that you got to tell me all of your business. Because guess what? Those people are not your friends. They don't give a shit about you. And when the time comes that you don't fit whatever idea they have of who you are, they're going to tell your story to whoever will listen. They're not going to tell their story. And I'm always mindful of people like that. When I see people online talking about somebody else, I'm not talking about celebrities, right? Because we talk about that, we offer our opinion, and usually, I'll speak for myself. I'm offering my opinion based on behaviors, based on truth and experiences. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean what my advice about how to approach the situation is correct. It just means that in my experience, this is what happened. And I need to get over here. Let me get over here. I'm behind this goddamn school bus, and you getting on my damn nerves. Okay. That doesn't mean that you just start throwing up and just letting everybody in on it. Again, people will use you, find out your story, and then flip your own story against you. Now listen, if you are not comfortable with sharing your story, do not tell anyone. Don't tell anyone, especially someone you met on the motherfucking internet. Until you feel a level of comfort, until you have developed, okay, I can trust this person, I could talk to this person. I see people fall out. I've seen people fall out so quickly because you weren't friends in the first place. You connected over some pain. They saw you was in pain and decided like, okay, let me be a listening ear. Let me be the person. Let me go over here. Let me be a person that you can talk to. And then you start dumping all your shit on these people. These people don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about your pain. They dealing with their own pain. And what better way? What better way to make yourself feel powerful? I'm not using the word. I'm not saying it's not a better way, but it happens. I've had it happen to me. I had a shame story. The situation with my son's father. And I had a friend who I'd known since I was 15 years old. And hold on. I've known her since I was 15 years old. Oh, my damn tweezers fell. And, shit. Come on, traffic. And I've known her since I was 15 years old. I don't want to call her a friend now because in hindsight, she was really always a friend of me. And there's some psychology behind the reason why I remained her friend for so long. And I'll share that story on another day. But it was just based on how I was raised and where I lived and my desire to be connected to my people. And I remained friends with her because she was a black girl and she was really only my real only black girlfriend. And it was coming off of being in Catholic school and in private school for so long and being the only black kid in every single grade, the only black kid, not the only black girl, the only black kid, you hear me? And I remained connected to this person to the detriment of myself, looking back. But what happened was, her and I would go on and off, not talking throughout our whole friendship, not talking, and it was a real frenemy situation. Just when I look back and replay the sirens, I hear them, and when I look back on it, they coming from behind. There they go. He ain't coming over here. I'm minding my business. So, on and off. We ended up moving to Atlanta together. And when we moved to Atlanta, the dynamic of our friendship changed when I met it was already rocky when we moved there because I think the plans that she had for herself weren't panning out in the beginning. And I met some dude who, wound up being my children's father. And after that, the friendship dissolved once again until after I had my first son. Then she came back into my life. And then it seemed like she wasn't, it seemed like she wasn't cool with my new relationship, because when we were home, the dynamic of our friendship, I was the single girl. She was the one always in relationships back to back to back. So it changed the dynamic of our friendship. She came back into my life after my first son was born, and even wanted my son to call her auntie. And I was just like, no, because you two sometime me in this friendship, no. And I was already going through the motions and the issues with my son's father, and everything that transpired with my relationship with him, and then the trials. I'm going to my friend, like normal people do. I'm going to a person who I think is my friend and sharing, my pain with her and talking about the things that I've endured with him to her. We together decided to go into network marketing and into MLM. We sold artists, body magics. Remember those? So we got in together, right? So we meeting so many people, networking, right? Meeting so many people. And then, of course, you have like a downline. So that's somebody that you come in under. So the person that we came in under was a woman that I worked with, right? Now, usually people that you work with don't know any of your personal home business, truly, right? So we're going through the motions. We, traveling and, just doing the business, I'll say. And one time there was, and me having children was almost a hindrance to how she envisioned the company to go. I wasn't as available and ready. People, I realized when I was in my 20s, they were used to me being available to them, calling me at all hours of the night. Erica, you ready to go? I was that girl. You know what I'm saying? You ready to go? Let's go. I was always that girl. So she wasn't used to me not being available to do things, so it became a hindrance to the business. So there was one time when her and one of the people that were above us, mind you, these people are technically strangers. We're just networking with them, right? They travel somewhere down south in South Georgia. And the girl that I worked with, it wasn't the girl that I worked with. Her name was Vanessa. It was a girl named Tracy. And Tracy was above Vanessa, and then we were under Vanessa, right? So Tracy and her go to do a show or whatever, a presentation. And the next day, that was over the weekend. The next Monday, or I think it was Monday, I don't remember the exact day, but the next week comes up. And Vanessa comes to me and she says, Erica, I wanted to talk to you about something. I was like, what's up? And she was like, I had a conversation with Tracy. And Tracy wanted to know how long you and this girl had been friends. And I said, we've been friends since I was 15 years old. And she was like, why? I said, why? And she said that she was really talking negatively about you and telling your personal business. I said, what do you mean telling my personal business? I'm looking like, what? And then she said, yeah, she started telling me things that only she would know. And can you imagine the embarrassment of a person that I work with telling me about another woman, telling her something, a girl that I've known since I was 15 years old, telling my shame story, telling things that I was ashamed about to her. She said, Tracy wanted to know how long you known her. She said, because that girl talked about you like she didn't really know you and that she's only known you for a short time. And I was like, what? And I said, okay, well, she said, I don't know. She said, she didn't feel comfortable telling me everything that she told her. So call her so she can tell you what she said. I said, okay. By then my heart and my heart was beating fast. My face was in flames. Do you hear me? I was so fucking mad. And I was so fucking mad. I was mad as fuck. And I was like, okay, so I called Tracy. Tracy sits on the phone telling me all of that. Now, keep in mind, I'm okay with telling the story now, my shame story now, because I'm no longer ashamed of it, and I'm okay, and I feel like my story can help people. But at the time, being so new and fresh, I'm still ashamed about these decisions and my current life situation, right? So Tracy is telling me all of these things. I'm sick to my fucking stomach. Do you hear me? Sick to my goddamn stomach. And it's only things that this girl, who I call my friend, only thing she would know. And I said to myself, how in the fuck would she feel so comfortable? And it gets me emotional now talking about it, telling my fucking story. But then I realized when people are hurting or have nothing going on in their fucking life, they will use your story and tell your shit to make themselves feel powerful. And then I didn't realize that until later, until actually I was watching a show. Remember when Iyanla and Oprah was doing that show where they would stand on stage and talk to women about, their relationships with women and how women betray each other. And a girl got up on stage, motherfucker, bitch, she told my exact same story. She told my exact same story, that one of her friends decided to share her shame story with people that she didn't know, and those people that she didn't know came to her and told her, your friend is talking about you, and this is what she's saying about you. I was so sick, it happened to me. And that makes me understand that people who are in pain, people who don't have things going for themselves, they will take your story, they will listen to you. And you would think that they're lending you an ear, goddammit. You would think that they are here for you and they're a shoulder to cry on. But guess what? They don't have nothing the fuck going on in their lives. They're miserable in their lives. And they will take your story and share it with everybody because it makes them feel powerful in the moment. And when Oprah said, a person who will betray you with gossip is a motherfucker you can never trust them with nothing. With nothing. I'm gonna find that clip of Oprah. She didn't say motherfucker. She didn't say it the way I'm doing it, the way Erica says it. But you know, Oprah is a little bit more has a little bit more decorum than I do. She said anybody who shares your story by gossiping about you or betrays you by gossiping is somebody you should never ever trust. Never trust them. And after that, even the woman told me, she said, and it stuck with me. If you think that woman is your confidant, she's not. Stop telling her your business, because I'm a stranger. This is a stranger. This is a stranger telling me not to trust somebody that I've known since I was 15 years old. She said she's not your confidant. Do not share nothing with her. From that day forward. See, I didn't go and, because I wasn't in the right mind space, I was having a lot of things going on with me. I didn't go and confront her and cuss her out or nothing like that. But what I did do was pull back. And she was wondering, and she was wondering, oh, how is so-and-so doing? How's this doing? Anything that had to do with my personal life, everything was fine. From that point on, everything was great. You would never, ever let me. And ultimately, the friendship dissolved. And then I found out she was telling everybody my shame story. And then looking back, I realized she didn't have shit going on in her life. She was unhappy about where she was in her life and how she was navigating through that part of her life. And sharing my shame story made her feel powerful. It made her feel like my life ain't that fucked up. Let me share Erica's story. I told my mother, I told my brother, and I'm telling y'all, I told my family, I'm telling y'all now. And for those of you who know me, who's watching this video, you know who I'm talking about. If I die, I don't want that bitch at my funeral. Don't come to my funeral. I will get up out of the casket and strangle that bitch, slit her motherfucking throat, and pull her tongue through her fucking neck. I'm not playing. That's how much that woman pained me. I don't know where she is now. I don't know what she's doing. And whatever she's doing is whatever. But my point is, stop sharing your stories with people. And for me, mine's a different. It happens a lot. Your friends, people who you think are your friends, that happens a lot. You can't tell everybody your business. Especially, I'm telling you about somebody I've known since I was 15 years old. And the friendship dissolved when I was like 33 or 34. So, if you think about it, right? You telling a complete goddamn stranger, somebody you haven't even had the chance to feel their energy, to understand what their intentions are. You telling them your story and sharing with them, and then all of a sudden you flipped around and they on somebody's live telling all your motherfucking business. Be mindful. And that's all I gotta say. Is you can be transparent, but you have to be mindful and be able to connect with their energy. Give it a second. Give it a while. You can talk about yourself. You can say, yeah, I have 2 kids and the situation wasn't, it was an abusive situation. We really didn't get along well. We really weren't a really great match. You can tell all of that. But when you start getting into the details of your fucking story to these strangers on the internet, you got to be fucking careful, because these people will tell them. And then if you're still ashamed about it, when they're telling your story to everybody and feeling real powerful and mighty in that moment, unless you haven't got to the point where you don't feel ashamed about it anymore, it's going to hurt you over and over and over again. Just telling that story, it hurt me to think about that, because I was betrayed, and it took me probably almost 3 years to get over that friendship. I felt like and everybody, my mom told me not to trust her, my father told me not to trust her, my brother told me not to trust her, and they always told me something's wrong with her, don't trust her. She used to say things like she was jealous of I had a what looked to me back then as a real close-knit family, and she didn't have that, and life goes on, and we see that I don't fuck with nobody in my family, okay? So, but at the same time, they were still able to see, like, this girl, she's not your friend. She's not your friend. When we went into business with each other, my father said, don't go into business with her. That girl is not your friend. Y'all fall out too much to go into business together, because she was a friend of me. You can, and listen to me what I'm telling y'all. I've known this girl since I was 15 years old. You don't know none of these bitches on the internet you telling all your motherfucking personal business to. Stop telling your shame story to people who don't deserve it. You got to get to know somebody to share your shame story, to be vulnerable. Because what I've learned, and I'm still learning, because I still have these instances, people are very violent with vulnerability. Do you hear me? And they don't care, because they're in pain too. So they're like, oh, okay, you in pain? Oh, your story's worse than mine. Guess what? I'm going to tell your story instead of telling mine. Stop doing it. That's all I got to say. And that was just on my heart today. It was on my spirit today to share that with y'all today. But just be mindful. If I don't give you no advice, is like no other advice ever in my life, don't share your shame story with people who don't deserve it. All right? I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Today is Thursday. I know what day it is. But I did have to confirm with my son this morning. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Is it Thursday? Wait, is it Thursday? He said it was Thursday. Hell, kids don't know when the days are anyway. But anyways, y'all have a wonderful day. And again, keep your shit to yourself. Tell your story. If you want to tell your story to somebody, write that shit in a motherfucking book. Lady, are you kidding me? I would have got out and beat her ass in the employee parking lot, honey. You not that in a damn hurry. Fucking bitch. I don't even know who that was. I'm parking close today. I usually park far away. Let me go put my shoes on. But you guys have a wonderful day, and keep your shit to yourself. Stop telling these fucking strangers your damn business. Stop telling people your business. I was about to say something, but I don't like to talk about other folks on my shit. Peace.